Every now and then, a VR game comes along that really surprises me. A game that I was not expecting to hit this hard. I wasn't even planning on buying Light Brigade. I figured I should probably pick it up to review for you guys since it did launch on Quest and was a launch title for the PSVR 2. Now, I thought it was going to be just another run-of-the-mill shooter, but boy was I wrong. This game is incredible. It's got buttery smooth gameplay and gun handling, an excellent upgrade and progression system, and even RPG elements sprinkled in there. So here's the skinny. Light Brigade is a VR, single-player, first-person shooter, but instead of your typical linear playthrough where the game would save after each level and that's where you pick up after you die, each play session here is more like a run, where you get as far as you can, and if you die, you start back at the beginning. But here's the kicker. All of the maps are procedurally generated, so no two playthroughs are ever the same. Also, you can apply permanent upgrades and buy items in between runs to maximize your effort. And this is the best procedural generation I have ever seen. The maps not only look great, but are vastly different from each other, so each playthrough really feels like a whole new experience. If you ever played In Death Unchained, it's kinda like that, only the maps seem a lot more unique. Not only do the maps themselves change, but so do the number of enemies, enemy placement, and loot. You could even encounter different enemy types at different times through each run. This leads to an insane replayability factor. With each playthrough being so unique, you never have to actually replay a map, even though you are technically starting back at the beginning after you die. Now, when it comes to graphics, I think they did a really great job. I really dig the graphic art style. It's sort of like halfway between cell shading and realism, which gives the game this surreal feeling, like you're fighting in a dream. It's done really well and looks super smooth. And this smoothness also transfers over to the gameplay. The whole gameplay experience is like butter. There's no jank, you don't get caught on shit moving around, your weapons auto-holster, and items actually go into the pocket where you place them. The weapon handling is also really nice. Guns have weight to them and fire off rounds where they're supposed to. Something that I also wanted to mention that I don't bring up often when reviewing games is how excellent the sound design is here. Not only can you hear enemy footsteps and loot jingling in the distance, but the sound of the gunshots in this game is fucking perfect. They sound punchy as hell. Each shot feels powerful, like it's gonna do some serious damage. It's really incredible just how much of an impact great sound design can have on your overall gaming experience. Now, the upgrade and progression system is what makes this game really special. There's two basic categories of upgrades in this game: permanent upgrades and mid-run upgrades. Permanent upgrades are the ones you get for leveling up your character. These you apply back at base camp and include things like leveling up your guns or adding additional lives. These will allow you to get a leg up on your run right from the start, and once you get them, you have them forever. The rest of the upgrades in this game are all stuff you find along the way, mid-run loot that you find on the battlefield. These will only last for that run. You do keep them map to map, but once you die and start over, they're gone. Now, there are a ton of different mid-run upgrades. I'm going to try and talk about as many as I can, but there's so much stuff here and this game keeps surprising me with new shit all the time, so sorry if I missed something. The first one that I want to talk about is the Tarot Card Loot Box. This is a box containing 3 cards, each of which has a unique stat upgrade or perk, and you choose one of the 3 to apply. These cards can be things like +2 magic damage on all shots, 10% chance to paralyze on hit, +2 max health, +8 damage on first strike, things like that. It's hard to describe just how many different types of upgrade cards there are. With each card you obtain, you get more powerful throughout your run, and this adds to just how unique each playthrough is. Not only are the maps always different, but you're different as well, because you're always going to find different cards. You'll also find weapon attachments like silencers and sights. Silencers can add things like status effects and magic damage to your shots. There's also weapon charms, which apply a special shot to your next round fired, like a bomb shot or chain damage. These can be used over and over, but there's a cooldown period. You also find wands, which cast spells. You'll find frag and stun grenades, and who knows what else is still out there that I haven't found yet. Every time I think I've seen it all, this game surprises me with something new. And this game even has different classes. Each class has a different main weapon, and you unlock a new class after leveling up the previous one. So far, I've unlocked rifle, SMG, and dual pistols. There's a couple others that I haven't unlocked yet. These classes greatly impact the way I would play the game. With the rifle class, I can easily dispatch foes at a distance, whereas the SMG class forced me to get into closer quarters. It adds a whole new layer to the game and allows you to play the game how you want, as you can choose the class that best fits your own personal playstyle. Everything I've talked about here, the procedurally generated maps, buttery smooth gameplay, super impressive upgrade system, all of this comes together to make an amazing VR experience that I can't stop playing. It's super unique and a ton of fun. I would highly recommend you check it out. It's only $25 in the Oculus and PlayStation Store, and also available on Steam. And for that price, it's an absolute steal. Hats off to the devs over at Funktronic Labs. This game's an absolute banger. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, do me a solid and hit that like button. It's a free way you can support the channel. You can support it even more by leaving a comment. Let me know what you think about Light Brigade. Were you as surprised as I was by this one? Don't forget to subscribe for more VR reviews like this one. And if you enjoyed this video, check out my review of In Death Unchained, popping up on your screen right now.